Welcome back to the BoomMicWonder podcast.
It's good.
And we're back, dog. We're back. Another
With
day
another one.
has come to talk about inkinga zethu. Spoiler. That's the whole point of this podcast. But it's a spoiler.
Yeah, so bored guys. It's nothing hectic.
Mm.
Yeah, we might be putting some people on, but yeah, the main point of which is bored.
Who you trying to put on, dog? Because I'm just here to say whatever I need to say.
Capella in putting on someone is just like putting them on game.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily me taking someone from his senior stable. It means, I know it's not like that. I'm just saying putting you on game.
Sure.
You might know something or you might have thought of something, but to know what's makes it even more believable or actually something you'd like to actually obtain.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just putting people on game on.
See, I don't think I can put people on game because I still see myself as a young nigga. You know? I still need to be put onto game, fair too. But it's weird now because like at my age of like almost hitting mid-20s, I find myself being clearly with people that just turned 20 or just left high school.
Yeah.
They're like, now I have to spit game. But like,
it's
weird, dog.
Yeah, I know how you feel. It's not like something you have to put yourself under pressure on. Because sometimes you feel like, at that age, you felt like someone who was putting you on game was actually putting you under pressure or wanting you to live a life a certain kind of way.
Sure.
So it kind of rubs off ngendlela wrong something like when ukuthi endaweni nje no uzofana ngiphile kanje manje because I know what, because at that age you think you know it all,
sure,
up until you get to a certain age and you realize shit, I was stupid then, but then in the kanjalo, I feel like it's not really putting someone on game, but just giving them an experience. So good. That's how I usually put it, man. This is what I went through. This is my reality.
But I feel like whenever out of all people, I feel like you're a rebel. I feel like you're that kid that just like, I know everything.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to put you on game.
Yeah.
And
I know. I kind of felt like that at some point, about that. Like I got arrogant with the idea, but I wouldn't say it came to me or some kind of shit, because my older brothers also are cool.
Sure.
I kind of learned everything from him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You gotta learn, dog. Next time you're gonna have the headsets so you can hear yourself. I want you to hear the difference between me and you.
All right.
I'm putting you on game.
Same shit.
Sure.
So yeah, I think for him to have to live impilo in a certain kind of way kind of inspired me to also become
like
that.
him.
But I feel like it's passed on very foot in a generational wise. Like if the older generation was also rebellious in some points, you guys are also going to be experimental and those kind of things. Might even take it to higher extents, because the exposure and the excess, those two things. But otherwise, dog, you can put someone on game, dog, on anything. Like you learning about internet shandies, like even knowing about how to manipulate the game or how to manipulate social media for that matter. That's putting someone on game. It's not necessarily the bad influence.
But those are the things that come naturally to me. Like I'd say in terms of me being rebellious, was like me back in high school. It's like cheese boy at times. There's a thing. There's a fine line of vocal where it's like I'm a cheese boy,
but
trying to be hood.
Yeah,
at the same
you got
time.
that hood element.
I had to force that hood element. It's quite long since
I know.
Now that I'm coming and chilling with you more often, I'm again. I remember Gucci. Why do I know this road? Because gang figure at some point
through
all over some slow. I've had sessions got slow, which is something that you don't really think about. It's my quickly got slow. You know what I'm saying?
To think that Uslo is that kind of a
he's
character.
That nigga. But
now he's still a cheese nigga, because that's who we are. As much as we wanted to have that hood element in everything we did.
Sure.
Because I felt like you get underestimated, because you're not really rich. Like you're not, you just live in a different environment.
Better off than most.
Exactly. It's not better in that sense. It's just a different. I like to put it in that way, because you could have someone in the hood that has again. They're living a better life than you. When they talk, but when they talk about a lifestyle, but the environment is different. That's what I always say. It's not better. It's different.
Okay.
So we live in a different environment, because our setting the same shit that happens in the hood ends we find of people or stuff like that. But
sure.
Isn't this driver is not the same?
Mm.
Six.
What makes the difference? Because we're all in the same environment, but then now you want to be a thug, I want to be a cheese boy, or not a cheese boy necessarily, but my vibe is me now. But we're in the same environment, we see the same thing. How is that I can pull back and you can just go face first?
It's because in social status. A lot of things fall into play when it comes to how certain people choose to live their life by holding back,
sure,
and some choose to head first. That's because we can't always have the same kind of things, because otherwise it wouldn't be switching over. Because looking at growing up, the stuff that you weren't exposed to, probably I was exposed to at an early young age, and I chose to expose myself to those things.
Sure.
Kind of became some of the things that you ended up also getting exposed to, which is how we ended up sharing the same space. So it's just timing. Because probably right now the way I choose to live my life is like I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be in the streets a lot, because I've done that at a young age. Like we said on those previous episodes.
Sure.
But now I choose to be at home. Spend time with my girl, spend time with my kid. If I'm going out, it has to be something.
See, those are the differences. Like, you have a kid, I don't.
Yeah, so
you can bring your hand home, I can't.
Yeah, no, those are the things that came with that rebellious side of things. Once you do things in a way that you, and I may not say rebellious, but unorthodox.
Sure.
Meaning that I expected.
So when for you to say it's the difference between me and Gucci, you probably had the same life, but you're rebellious with it, and your mom was like, "Okay, what are you doing outside? Because whenever you're outside, you fuck out.
Exactly.
So now don't go outside.
Stay inside. It wasn't that discussion like how certain people get told.
Sure.
Stop doing that. You're going to get arrested. Come inside.
Sure.
It wasn't that kind of
like conversation,
like, but it was more of the same setting. You see what I'm doing out there,
sure,
and it's more or less the same thing that I'm doing here. Irrespective of Ugutin corner, it's not something that I do. But at the end of the day, it's more of a thing that I am living my own life.
Sure.
That's how I saw it, man. It's not something I'm not saying I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do, but at the same time, I'm going to do it my way. If I'm going to school, I'm going to go study what I want. If I'm going to go to work, I'm going to work for the things I want to work for.
Sure.
I can't be working for reasons. I can't, because there are certain people out there that work for and I'm not saying that because I wouldn't do it if I was in that situation. I would. I'm a disciplined kid. There's a lot of things that within the space of that I was secluded from by my parents to make sure that I'm a certain kind of character. I may be rebellious in the eye of Abantu abaningi.
Forced a couple of things.
Exactly, but cognitive discipline is structuring now.
Sure.
These are the two things that they wouldn't allow me to do. But at the same time, I have freedom of speech. I can go out whenever I want to, as long as I report. Just like any other kid. I might have did it early. Oh, we're probably going through.
But you're a dad as well, dog.
Yeah.
Like, how is that shit, dog? Like, how do you go out? Okay, like, you're chilling with your kid now, you're having fun. Like, what do you do for fun when you're chilling in Tonac?
My kid is into a lot of different things, but my kid is more of like there's this line in my Angelo that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, for sure.
Most people would think that is in a form of him just fazane, but now it's a nigga. It's the same shit. For me, Akaya, they're very, very supportive of how my kid gets raised.
Sure.
Like my older brother makes sure with homework, we have season homework.
Sure.
My message that comes to do anything that has to do with school stuff.
Goes directly to him. He was even at the sports day the other day.
Exactly.
I saw that shit. I was like, yeah.
So from him to my mom, from my mom to me, there's like a conversation kind of thing. I wouldn't say I'm not playing much of a role because I am there. I'm present.
Sure.
When I can, I help out with the homework. So there's a lot of stuff in America that I feel like but supportive towards me.
Sure.
Not necessarily the kid alone, because in Ghana showcase everyone loves the kid.
Yeah.
Now again, once you have a kid, uzofika ekudinwe kube khona
Ghost,
i-storm kube nayo yonke into,
yeah,
but then when it
yeah.
settles down, everyone's going to realize that, okay, shit, this is what we needed. This is what we needed to bring this family together.
Sure.
Because we need someone esomkhulisa sonke la ekhaya, so everyone plays their role.
You're the first child again to have a kid.
Yeah.
Really?
Like under my mom and dad.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, again, it's you and your older brother, Pel.
No, small 3.
And
There's
older
an
sister.
older brother. No, there's an older brother.
Oh, okay.
My older brother was late. And then
Ish,
there's
Friday.
no worries.
My
And then it's my
condolences.
older brother who go okay,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
who you guys know.
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Gonke's a
And then
rockstar.
there's my sister that my mom kind of raised. Yeah, but so it's like a big family
Sure.
brought in by pieces that unnecessarily blood related kind of thing. Yeah, but so now Leondi builds character.
Sure.
Because when you go out there, you know, it's not about gaining now and you become defensive about everything.
Yeah.
I can still bring you into my circle, knowing fully good now where I devoted to isn't as a second and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
so yeah, I feel like that's more or less the same thing as meeting people abangan and then end up building business, end up building friendships and more
Content creation.
and faiths and sharama profits and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a similar concept, yeah, but
Structure.
it builds there's a lot of
good
structure that omunye umuntu mayibuye ngaphana athi ngiya dog mina ekhaya sihlala about 4, about 3. It's just me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. It's about 4, and then you're not going to find a cousin. No, but when they stay, they don't stay for long.
Sure.
And I don't judge those people because at some point I also really wanted to live in Pilo Ganjalo. But then I realized Uguti, to have to live the life I live now,
Sure.
it builds the person I am. What kind of shit? I don't want to be cliche, but exactly what I mean by Uguti ndlela ophila ngayo would actually determine or declare Uguti at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like leyo nto yangisiza kakhulu ukuthi ekhaya banginike leyo freedom.
I feel like you have it nice, though, because for me, it's like, I try to force it,
Yeah.
but then, like, that rebellious act you talked about earlier, but then that rebellious act, it left me better as a person because, I don't know what I'd be if because
one thing I must say, Mike, I said this the other day, and no, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword kind of thing, yeah. But I kind of feel like I overlived in Bilong and wrong.
Sure.
Wasted time on a lot of shit that I could have done something productive. I am currently regaining that time, trying to regain that space and everything, that energy. But now I'm not going to be 18 again. I'm not going to be 20 again. I'm not going to be able to go to college and sit there and
fuck around
anymore. I don't have I don't have that freedom anymore.
Sure.
Because I kind of overused it. So it's a double-edged sword, dog. So now when I'm in dog, I could be buying my girl gifts. I could be doing stuff at my own leisure. But manje, exactly that's going to be profitable at the end of the tunnel. Because mele kube khona something when she alintwana, mele kube khona senginaleyo pressure ke man. The shit that you don't know about. But ukuthi yonke into nama ups and downs akhona. So I feel like
it's just rough, dog. It sounds rough, but I mean, it's a blessing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But yeah, as I was saying about the whole rebellious thing, it's actually the topic I wanted to get into today, which is depression and anxiety. Yeah. Because I feel like, not that I went to a doctor or anything like that, I just feel like myself at that point in life, in time, can't get depressed because I was dealing with certain things. I had certain behaviors. I didn't see a way forward. Yeah. But that was because you know what about you to do in fact. It's a session. When we do my session especially in those times. Like club that was for me grade 10 to matric. Kumbulo it's about you before shy session in fact I would go out tell my own joint relax in fact I wanted to get talele bese ngafika ma arts kushana ma arts ngibuyele endlini before ngene endlini ngishayelela mfuthi ngene. But then bro just that whole thing, and I think I wasn't ready for Ilenduzan back then. I wasn't ready for it back then, and it just put me down this whole rabbit hole of just like, when I think about it, it scares me, dog. Because have you ever been into a point in Pilonyako where you don't see what's past a certain age? Like, kumnyama nje. Like, I'm peeling right now. It's getting closer and closer, and you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
At some point, I also thought like I'd have those Kurt Cobain's moments and I'd have those Ricky moments. But at some point, I didn't want to speak about that. But
that's gonna Ricky as well.
Because I felt like I was in a space where I didn't have control over some of the things that were happening into my life because of the certain positions that I put myself into.
Sure.
The need to be seen, the need to be heard, kind of made me feel. It built anxiety, not knowing what I'm creating.
Why did you need to be seen? Why did you need to be heard? From who, Food?
That's the thing. It's a mind thing, dog. It's systematic.
Sure.
Like how you're saying, good man, I'm getting in a space full of hands. Like now, I have a different mindset. I have a different way of attacking that situation. I'll probably just be resilient and not speak up. Say what I need to say when I need to say it. But back then, I'd feel I need to say stuff that made me feel relevant. I had to know stuff. Trying to build relevance, dog. Trying to look cool. That's the word for it. So that shit kind of wasted.
Still gotta look cool, though.
Yeah, dog. But now
that's why we're wearing the side bag. It's just forever young. I'm wearing Caspio on top of this pant.
Dog, you know what?
Gotta look cool.
Because it's because now it's more of a thing that it's
for yourself.
Yeah,
not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. It's not like how I did it before. Before, I how I forced to buy the laptop and how I forced to buy the things that that's because that's for me now. I'm selfish about the things I want.
You like,
and back then it would have been about buying a cool-ass jacket, one expensive jacket, an expensive. I always wanted to look presentable, but as well as also have a particular stigma towards okay, no, this nigga knows what he's doing. But then I realized growing up, okay, no, looking like you're rich and being rich is two different things. So we had to make a choice. We have to make a choice. So now I have to figure out it's either I go all in with me faking the life that or faking everything, or I just dabble. If I can afford a bag that I like and it's stylish, I'm getting it. If I can afford a watch that's stylish, I'm getting it. Shoes, I'm getting it. But I'm not going to force myself to buy something that I cannot afford. Knowing fully it's a hanger. No, dog. Can't do that, dog.
I think I saw that shit from my dad, bruh. Yeah. My dad was like, bruh, I can afford a fucking S-Class, but like, doesn't make sense to put R1 million in my garage. Doesn't fucking make sense. So I'll just go for the cheaper option.
Exactly.
But then it helps you, but
when are you in the streets thinking
that's learned behavior, though.
Exactly.
That's learned behavior.
Exactly. But you know exactly why. Nameka Baba has that same mentality of I'd say he's a cheapskate, just sum it up once. And I see why, I understand why, because if you live for the flashy things, because looking at the lifestyle they chose to live, they could have chose a lifestyle where they can fake and live in debts, or rather just take it steady, dog. Take it steady. Make sure you
run your own race.
Maintain, dog. You can't buy yourself a milliga 2,000 or go out to a restaurant that will make you pay for $1,200,000 to this month. Next month, dog is stupid.
That's not the one,
it doesn't make sense. That's also another depression and anxiety. I'd say curve point in because you're trying to maintain a life that you can't
afford,
and then you lose your job or lockdown hits again. Something like that happens.
And then
so now you realize I 1, 2. You now can't maintain it. So that's why, dog. I stepped down from a lot of pedestals that I put myself on. From being rebellious. So I gotta be cool.
I had to really look down at the situation and be like, towards the school that I go to, the school that I go to. There's obviously certain people. There's obviously that thing I go to. Some hands will always have more cop. Exactly. Or they always seem like that. But then now, when you compare lifestyles and you look at Lomuto Tsatsa because on Yakibela Mhlampe.
Exactly.
Only reason why in Kibela is because I don't have a license, but that's something else. And then so you look at the options. Like I sat down and I compared myself to some of the people I go to school with, and I was like, especially my hands that look down on you. And I was like, okay, fine, sure. You drive to school, but you drive a run down. There's nothing wrong with better. You know what I'm saying?
But
no, but listen to the story. It's the only car Guinea on the iPhone, the MacBook, but then it's like you guys don't own a house. You guys are renting. You and your family are renting. You have one car. It's a run-down car. You can't maintain that car. I had a Dell at that time. I had a Samsung at that time. Decent Dell, decent Samsung. But then now when I look about it, I'm like, I only don't have those things because I didn't ask for it. I'm cool with just that mid-level Samsung, and so that's all I got. So I'm cool with that Dell because I knew we're not rich at home. Exactly. I can get it if I want to.
It's that kind of energy, dog. Knowing that you can live a certain kind of life, but you choose not to. And also that's the freedom, dog. That's the financial freedom we were talking about. You
guys are renting. You have this run-down car. It's just there out and about 3. You're using it for school. Just you dropping off everybody again. And I mean, there's 3 cars. We own the house. We own the house. Not rent. We own the house.
I don't type share of thing. Room.
Don't share a room.
There's a lot of things that fall into place.
It's comfort. Yeah. But it's just like, dog, to each his own, bro.
Yeah,
I think that's how you use that saying. Also, I have a battle with English, dog. Use a word, but you're like, I don't know if that's right.
Context. I have those moments a lot. But then right, I feel like Umkondo is very genius on its own because it knows when a certain kind of thing needs to fit in. Sometimes it might be saying the wrong thing, but because you said it the right way, it seems right. It seems right. Like how I just laughed at the okay, no, I'm not going to be racist about the term, but there's these particular. Why are you laughing? Because when someone says, I'm not going to be racist, you're about to be racist. No, there's these kind of people that we all know about. We live in Durban, so we live amongst them. So we know what like we were just laughing at the fact that how can be something be new and improved? When they upsell you something, no, buy this thing, it's new and improved.
Sure.
But now, how can it be new and also improved?
My sales tactics, boy.
It is a sales tactic, but then when you come to think about it, but it back to the context of the school language. You can be saying something wrong, but then it fits in well.
Sure.
Like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to dive in deep in that, but I won't know what is what I meant.
Bro. So have you ever been like depressed or had like anxiety?
Dog, a lot. Dog. But then it's a weird feeling because I feel like you need to think about it for you to believe it. Because I thought about this like in BoomMicWonder, I would say, if you were to right now, if you were to say you're depressed again and you have anxiety, they'd take you serious, because now they understand those things. But growing up at some points, or when you actually I feel like depression is not something that happens.
Having depression in the black community is a privilege. You have to be privileged to have depression.
Exactly. I'm also trying to say it builds up, dog. Because if you don't know about it, then you don't really feel like you. But then when you know the terminology of what depression means and anxiety, you realize, oh shit, I've been under this
spell, under this thing, but I just can't. That's another thing, dog. Us as a black community, we're not open to these things. Fine now, since man, it's corn.
I have anxiety.
Anxiety. We know about these things, but also we don't have resources to actually go sort it out. It's like
Can you I had a question. Can you actually sort out depression? Because I feel like
for me,
the guys that that are rich,
it's continuous work. It's continuous work because you don't just. There's no fix for it. Once you have it, it's always there. So you have to continuously work on it. You have to go continuously see somebody. And if you need meds, then you have to continuously take your meds. It's a battle you need to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get
and there's a stigma towards it as black people. Tell a black person you're going to a psychologist. Maybe now sitting on the tie. Something, go key, that type of thing, bruh. But it's not that, you know what I mean?
You're trying to cope from it by using those things, bro.
I mean, I feel like going on now that there's a label for it, but hey, bruh, people are not taking it seriously still.
To be honest with you, I only realized, I think a few years ago, probably 2018, 19, around about my nigga phase, bro.
Sure.
That's when I actually realized, oh shit, I am depressed, bro. And I don't know if it was the influence or because of the music I listened to at that time, but then it kind of actually clicked to what I've been having. It was easy.
I feel like for me, it was easier to understand that it's depression because everything these niggas are singing about, I can feed it too.
Exactly.
And if they're calling it depression, then
so
fuck,
then
maybe
then
I'm depressed. You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, that's exactly how I felt. That's literally how I felt. I was like, ish. Umuntu masecula ngokuthi mfethu kancane kancane mfethu uyazizwa ukuthi like uzizwe sometimes it's okay, like I feel like crying, but I realize ukuthi nothing wrong happened there. Pho indawo ukuthi angikhali, but you uvuka ekseni ungazizwa. Like izolo la lenhleka nami with everyone, you were happy. Next morning you wake up, you just feeling like
nothing.
You feel like you're not adding any value to anyone's lives. That's when you start texting weird.
Sure.
So tell abantu tired. No, it's fine, my face.
That's when you take off your blue ticks.
Exactly.
So people don't know if you answered or not.
Yeah. Because now you're tired. Sure. You know, when I'm tired of being seen or heard, I just don't post. I just don't. But then I have this thing of because I'm talkative and I'm very loud spoken. When I'm quiet, people think I'm angry or think I'm going through a lot. I might be going through a lot, but I just sometimes feel like I need to just be
keep quiet,
dog.
Sure.
Just think a lot, dog. Keep everything that I feel like I needed to say to myself. Do
you still think you're depressed now?
Yeah,
I did.
It's weird,
Really?
Some of my depression was actually caused by being lonely and single. I'm the person that's dependent on relationships, kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie about you. I'm not even gonna cap. But I feel like if I'm not in a relationship, I tend to fall into depression a lot because there's no one to share what I'm feeling.
When you have a hand, like your hand knows everything about you. Knows how you're feeling at every single point. And everything.
Yeah, I'm open about my feelings.
Vulnerable as fuck.
Exactly. I've been that nigga, dog. That's why people tend to not understand the person I am. Because when you speak to me like in a street form, you get a vibe of this thing is from the hood. This thing is, have got that hard shell vibes. But when you actually sit down and have a conversation with me, you tend to notice, okay, this nigga shares
got
a lot.
more than just what I thought he is.
Exactly. So I give off that vibe. We have no expectations.
Give them those expectations then.
That's because it's a lifestyle.
Sure.
I chose to live. I'm into flashy shit.
Sure.
But I'm also a geek about it. I'm
well
also reserved.
Hey,
I also like to read.
Dog. Yeah? I was shocked, dog, when I started speaking to you and everything that I like, you like too.
Exactly.
Even if you would put me on game with Mike, go watch that shit. That shit is dope.
Exactly, dog.
Yeah, no.
So that's one of the things I feel like I don't like about myself, but I accept that people are just gonna judge me, misconceptualize you. And then it's cool. It's not something that causes my depression. I don't care about it. I don't need to prove myself again. And I sometimes think about it and laugh about it. And I'm just like, I know what that person has, what impression they have of me, but then it's not the truth.
Sure.
Until I speak, until you hear me, and then you realize, no, this nigga knows a lot. This nigga's he reads a lot. He notices stuff a lot. Which is something I felt like... I think my main cause of depression would be how I grew up and stuff. Childhood traumas. Just like any other person.
We all have our traumas, bro.
Yeah, everyone has childhood traumas vibes. And then it would be the relationships.
Sure.
Being scared of being in love, or being scared of actually committing to love.
Sure.
And also having to be sure. Because it's weird, dog, to be... right now, I feel like we're all safe in a sense of you can listen to the soft music. To think that back then, dog, you couldn't listen to her or any other.
But we're bumping Roy Woods, dog, in rough times.
No, listen. Like, there's prior to that time, you couldn't just jam. There was a time, dog, that you had to be listening to hardcore rap if you're listening to music from the States. I
think I used to listen to Frank Ocean in secret.
Exactly. Kind of things.
No, you can.
Yeah. So, kone music ubungekwazi ukuthi ulalele noma inini noma ngasiphi isikhathi because you knew ukuthi, okay, no, I'm just going to get judged.
Sure.
But now you just don't give a fuck. I could be bumping Ariel enough.
That's being old. But okay, even the time's not allowed, dog. Like, who was singing... older cousin,
exactly. Now you know you can even listen to gay artists and you don't even have anything to worry about. Like how back then things were actually weird.
Sure.
You know, people would judge you for that. How personally, Frank Ocean is my favorite artist.
Even me.
Like, so
top,
regardless of his
top
sexuality, yeah, I care.
Top 3.
I don't care. But
Sure.
it's not my business.
Sure.
My business is the
music.
Yeah, well,
The shit
that's
that
what
he
I'm
makes.
here for.
Nah, but there's some gay stuff in there.
Hey.
Good guy.
Mm.
Good guy, number close guy. Oh, dog. Even then, I'm still saying that shit.
The lyrics. Quite I think we sound that distort ears.
And it's weird now because I'm quite little as a he banned TikTok in his household.
Yeah.
Because he heard his son singing WAP. Banned TikTok. It's like no more TikTok in the house. That's pussy. Yeah. Ban TikTok, kabang. Because now it's out in the open. It's TikTok. It's whatever. It's all these videos. You can do whatever.
I don't answer, dog. Like, we live in a very scary society now where everything is just out there, dog. Like, you just gotta make sure you go on magic go parental advisor. Because you
can put on a TikTok video.
Exactly. You can only do that on Gwezaki Nkan.
Sure.
If your kids are sitting with my kids, and I expose my kids to these things,
everything, there's nothing you can do about it.
So you get pot accept it.
So when I go to Doug, why do my kids always want to go to that nigga's house? Let me go there and check what's going on and see how the shit is done there. At some point, even my dad did that. He's like, why does my son always want to go there? Okay, fine. I had a best friend growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, not side to the pool. Always trying to go there, you know what I mean? But then also he's my best friend, so he'd come to Avokana and we'd chill. But then I'd go there more often. So my dad was like, let me go check out. Just to be like, my son is not chilling with weird people.
Yeah.
And those figure how Tamala is younger than my dad, but Tamala wants out. There's no way he's exposing my kid to fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So my G, I'm never gonna come back here again. You know your son's safe with me. I know
it's that energy.
It's that vibe.
Which was very, very responsible. I like that about your dad.
That's anxiety though.
Mm.
That's anxiety.
Mm.
That's like, dog. Even for me now, I'd say my depression phase is out, but I find myself questioning a lot of things every day. Even just doing this podcast. Yeah. Just sharing that first episode, that first snippet, bro. That shit is like, do I really want myself out there like this that, to you people? Because most of you people I don't know. Especially in have some of you on Instagram, have some of you on WhatsApp. Okay, my WhatsApp people love you to bits. Well, those are my people.
Yeah.
But Instagram, none. I can laugh with you, I can share with you. But you seeing this side of me, dog, that shit takes a certain strength that I'm building right now.
Yeah, because you need to be mentally focused about it. Because that's extent waking up about, I felt like I kind of felt like procrastinating the show, but then
oh no, I'm on your ass now, dog. This is gonna be the land. Yeah, I don't know which is about soon, but that's a story for another day.
We're in it, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
So I was just like, I'm waking up, I'm doing these things. I feel like sometimes some of the stuff that you really feel uncomfortable about doing are the most good things, because that's something that this is out of our comfort zone. We are more in a setting that don't know us, we wouldn't share as much as we're sharing now.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
As much as it's we feel like we're together, like it's about
two, but it's easy way to get our ideas out.
I only said this to Mike, and then we shared it to the world. But yeah, otherwise, dog, I really, really appreciate the fact that we can do this and we are doing this, and regardless of everything that's happened in whatever way, but then it's and we're moving forward. So hopefully,
shout out to the sad boys.
Yeah, dog. Sad boys worldwide.
Sad boys worldwide.
But then, dog, I also feel like as finally this episode, it could be good stuff, dog.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is a good thing. This is something.
You only feel like to open up when I'm a sexual all the happy moments that they share, you feel like they're flexing on you.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that when you're having a conversation as much as we're happy for low moon, you still feel like,
hey, bro, shout out to my dog. He just bought a car. I'll just leave it there. Hey, my man flexes, dog. But yeah, I have those people.
Yeah,
I have those people.
And sometimes when you feeling out too jealous, can't you know? You just feel like
you're doing too much, bro. Relax.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
Let me catch up to you, dog.
Sure. But I mean, it's a good thing we're here, bruh. We're building something that moves forward. Goes without saying, like Wanda was saying the other day,
Yeah.
you know, gotta love the guys, gotta love my friends, appreciate everybody, and appreciate the people that watch the shit too.
Yeah, guys,
We're
we
moving
love you
forward
guys.
in a way in which even we like to interact with you guys as well. So
you know,
know,
guys, if you guys want to show up or pull up or have a conversation with us,
just
hit
us up.
us.
Even this, I'm a stands namhlanje. Quantum.
Yeah,
Quantum, my boy. This is how I know if you're a real fan. If you see this, then I'll know you're a real fan.
Yeah, well, so one of my comments.
But yeah, bruh.
But
another
guys,
thing.
thank you so much for everyone that gave us feedback. Some of our guys told us that we needed to change some camera, the sound, how we hold the mics.
How's the standard now?
Well,
How's
so
the quality now, bitches?
We upped the game, guys. So sorry, we're trying to flex, but yeah.
Any shout outs?
Nah, not necessarily. Shout out to my girl, bruh, for support. And shout out to you. Shout out
to my girl too.
You didn't have to, but yeah.
Shout out to Uma Snama on the mic. You guys should also check out her podcast. She's really doing nice things.
No way.
She's got nice conversations and she's doing the most.
Yeah. And shout out to my nigga Leprechaun who just
he just dropped.
He just dropped a project yesterday. I was managing some of the songs on that project.
Sure.
Yeah, big ups to him. The kid's going places and definitely. We're going to have him on the show on one of the days now, just to have a conversation just after. I think it's also going to go on tour sometime later on this year. But then I think we need to catch him on an interview prior or after the tour. So
we'll do the most.
Yeah.
Do the most.
But yeah, guys, shout out to everyone that made this happen. Shout out to everyone that's supporting. And yeah.
Let's go.
BoomMicWonder.
Episode 3, baby.
It's actually episode 4, guys.
4.
We just dropped 3.